Leaky what? Leaky gut. Have you ever wondered what the heck is leaky gut? Is it even a real thing? And if it is, do I have it? And what can I do about it? Leaky gut, also known as intestinal permeability, is in fact a real thing. Our gut lining is not completely impermeable. This means that small gaps in the intestinal wall are meant to be there to allow certain things like nutrients to pass through and into our bloodstream to nourish our bodies. However, lifestyle factors like our diet, stress levels, and exposure to chemicals and toxins can impair our gut lining, weakening the tight junctions, leaving the gut more permeable than it is supposed to be. This increased gut permeability is what we refer to as leaky gut. When our gut lining is damaged, partially digested food particles, toxins, and bugs can make their way through the gut lining and into our system. Why is this problematic? Leaky gut has been linked to many health issues, and there is increased evidence that gut permeability is a factor in the development of autoimmune disease. And I will link to some research below if you're interested in checking that out. So what causes leaky gut? I'm going to break the science down as simple as possible. There are two main ways the gut becomes more permeable. The first is damage to the intestinal wall, and the second is impairment of the tight junctions. Let's start with damage to the intestinal wall. When the gut lining is impacted by certain pathogens, toxins, or dietary proteins, the cells can become damaged and die. This leaves a tiny hole in the intestinal wall. In a healthy individual, the body will repair this damage rapidly. But in cases where the body cannot keep up, leaky gut can develop. Moving on to impairment of tight junctions. Remember, these are the little gaps where nutrients pass through. Essentially, when these junctions are impaired, they open up wider or for a longer time than they are intended to. Zonulin is a protein made by our body that is responsible for modulating the tight junctions. Research has shown that higher zonulin levels stimulate the opening of more tight junctions. The release of zonulin is provoked by the consumption of gluten, among other foods and lifestyle factors. And again, I will link to some research on this. Leaky gut syndrome is not an official condition in the medical community. However, if you have an autoimmune disease, the chances that you have some degree of leaky gut is quite high. Here are some key indicators that leaky gut is at play. Nutrient deficiencies, food intolerances, and a whole host of symptoms such as digestive discomforts, body pain, skin issues, and fatigue, among many other undesirable symptoms. If this sounds like you, know that you do not need a diagnosis or somebody to tell you that you have leaky gut to start improving your gut health now. There are many things that you can be doing on a daily basis to help improve your health status. Here are a few things to get you started. In terms of diet, you're going to want to remove the biggies such as gluten, nightshade vegetables, dairy, legumes, and artificial sweeteners. Some of the best foods to add to your diet include bone broth, wild fish and other wild seafood, grass-fed meat like chicken and beef, and especially their organ meats like liver, a variety of vegetables, and some fruit. Our gut bacteria loves variety. So if you want to switch up the variety of onions and apples and leafy greens that you buy at the store on a regular basis, that is a really simple thing to implement. Mushrooms are also extremely beneficial for gut health, as well as fermented foods. If you find that fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, yogurts, or drinks like kombucha or kefir bother you, you may need to look into testing for something called SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Some key nutrients to focus on, either in the form of food or supplements, are L-glutamine, berberine, zinc, vitamin D, and fish oil. Beyond diet, keep your exercise to a moderate level. Intense exercise appears to increase intestinal permeability. I will link a study to that below called Exercise Regulation of Intestinal Tight Junction Proteins. Very high cortisol levels may also increase gut permeability. So sufficient sleep and managing stress are also key factors. There will be more videos to come on these topics. If you have any questions or would like to get in touch with me, you can find me on my website, whitneycopeland.com, or on Instagram at whitneycopeland_. And if you like the content that you're seeing here, please subscribe.